Testimony picks up this afternoon in the Tupac Shakur murder trial. Yesterday, the jury saw this surveillance video. It appears to show Tupac Shakur and Suge Knight rushing out of the MGM casino after a fight with the defendant's nephew. Hours later, Shakur was killed in a drive-by shooting. Testimony from a former member of Suge Knight's security team also shed new light on why many witnesses have been so reluctant to speak out, even after 30 years.
I don't want to send you to prison. I changed my life. I'm raising my grandkids, teaching them never to be like their papa.
Joining us now, NBC News legal analyst Misty Marris. Misty, that moment we just heard was when Davis's attorney was cross-examining James McDonald. He's speaking directly to Davis there. How pivotal was that moment?
So James McDonald is known as Mob James. So he was a security guard for Death Row Records. Death Row Records, that's Suge Knight and Tupac. So why does this matter? Well, this is somebody who was affiliated with this gang rivalry 30 years ago. And so what we saw in this spicy moment during cross-examination is Mob James telling the defense attorney, I didn't want to be here. I don't want to testify. I don't want to get Davis in any trouble and put him behind bars. And it was an interesting moment, Christine, because the fact that he said that almost worked a bit for the prosecution because it made it kind of seem like he might know something. Meanwhile, on the flip side, it emphasizes this aspect of there's a reason why we don't know much about this investigation. Tupac said it himself to an emergency responder. We'll take care of it because they had really been stonewalled into getting information because of that gang affiliation aspect.
I wonder, after that testimony, how might both sides reconsider who they call to the stand?
It's an interesting point because now you're talking about somebody who was a bit of a wild card on the stand, and it brings into question Suge Knight, for instance, who's also said that he's not interested in being there and does not want to testify. So a witness that you can't really control, is that going to be somebody that you want to put up there? But what I do think is interesting about Mob James, it sort of brings this all together. You're talking about someone, this is 30 years later, how to deal with that time aspect that it's lapsed. This is somebody who did not have any direct information about Davis, but in the sense of his testimony, he spoke about that rivalry between the two gangs. Why would a fight with his nephew escalate into a murder?
What are you watching for later today?
Well, we're going to have more law enforcement officers, and keep in mind, part of this case, there is no physical evidence. So it's about these witnesses who eventually prosecutors are going to line up what the witnesses are testifying about. There's a Glock, there's a white Cadillac, and they're going to line up the story that Davis himself told in his book and say, well, there you go, jury. That's corroboration.
All right, Misty Marris, following it all for us. Thanks, Misty.